Hey guys, welcome back to another video here at Thrill Ride Universe. Happy Friday, and today I'm going to be introducing a new series to my YouTube channel called Storytime. Now basically what Storytime is going to be is a segment on my YouTube channel where I tell you about an experience I had at an amusement park. It could be a good experience or a bad experience, but either way it'll be a great series on my YouTube channel. Also, full credits for this idea go to Josh, aka The Coaster Corner. Shout out to you, by the way. Also, he has stated that he does not mind if you guys want to make videos like this, but just make sure you give him credit. Anyways, today's episode of Storytime is going to be a great / not so great experience that I had at Busch Gardens, Tampa over the summer. So one day, a friend and I decided to go to Busch Gardens, Tampa over the summer. At this time, Cobra's Curse had been open for about 2 weeks. So that day, the park was opening around 9:30 a.m. However, we got to the park around 8:45, and we saw a massive crowd of people standing by the Nairobi gate. And I had absolutely no idea why so many people were standing around the Nairobi gate, but then I realized that that day was one of the days that Cobra's Curse was having ERT for annual pass holders only. Now, I have an annual pass for Busch Gardens Tampa, so I could have gotten into the ERT with no problems. However, the friend that I was with did not have an annual pass, so we missed out on the ERT. So we waited around for about 45 minutes waiting for the park to open, and as soon as the park opened, we raced right to Cobra's Curse. Now, as soon as we got to Cobra's Curse, we were both immediately disappointed because we realized that the ERT was still going on because so many people had showed up for it. The ERT was only supposed to be an hour long, however, it was extended because there was too many people. So after that, we went to Cheetah Hunt and had a good time. Then we went to Montu and had a good time. And by that time, the Cobra's Curse ERT was finally over. However, the wait time was an hour and a half. So neither one of us felt like waiting that long. So we both just walked to the sky ride to go to the back of the park where Kumba was. But on the way to the sky ride, we saw 2 of my other friends from school. So now we were in a group of 4, and we took the sky ride to the back of the park to ride Kumba. Before we rode Kumba, we got on Falcon's Fury and the bumper cars and had lots of fun, and then we rode Kumba and had a blast. So at that time, it was about 11:30, and we all realized it was time for lunch, and we went to the Zambia Smokehouse. All 4 of us had all-day dining wristbands that we had purchased at the Adventure Outpost at the front of the park, and these wristbands allowed us to have free food once an hour, and then I realized that my wristband was missing. So then I retraced my steps, and then I realized that I had my wristband before I rode Kumba, but after I rode Kumba, I did not. So my wristband actually flew off while I was on Kumba. So at this moment, I was freaking out, but then I realized that I still had the receipt for the wristband. So I told the cashier lady what happened, I showed her the receipt, and she told me that I would have to go back to the place where I purchased it if I wanted to get a new wristband, which was literally on the exact opposite end of the park from where I was. So I was pretty upset about that, but there was nothing I could do about it. So after that, we all walked over to the train station, boarded the train to take the train all the way back to the front of the park, and after about 10 minutes of sitting on the train never even moved an inch. So I asked an employee when the train was going to move, and they said, oh, in about 5 minutes. So we waited around for 5 minutes, the train never moved. I asked again, they said, oh, 5 more minutes. We waited 5 more minutes, the train never moved. So after a while, we just got off the train, and then moments after we got off the train took off. So at that time, it was about 12 o'clock, which meant that the 2 friends that we had ran into, it was time for them to leave to go to the movie theater. So at that time, it was just me and the friend that I had arrived at the park with. So after a long walk back to the front of the park, I finally got in line to buy another wristband. But there was one major problem. The line to buy a wristband was over an hour long. So at that point, we had no other choice but to wait in line, and when I finally got to the front of the line, I got another wristband. At that time, I was so happy. But that really didn't last very long. Once I got in line to order food, I then realized that that line was pretty long too. So after waiting about 15 minutes, I felt really sick, like I was going to throw up. So I told my friend to save my spot in line, and then I ran to the bathroom as fast as I could. I did not end up throwing up, which I was happy about, but I still did not feel that great. After that, I got back in line and I finally got my food. While I was eating, it started to rain. And of course, almost immediately after that, there was an announcement saying that all the rides were down due to lightning in the area. So yeah, I was pretty upset about that. At that point, it was still pretty hot, so I decided we should go sit down in some air conditioning and go watch a show. Unfortunately, the show was at capacity, so we could not go inside and feel the cool AC. After about an hour of sitting in the shade, bored out of our minds, the rides finally came back up. So we raced right to Cobra's Curse again, and we found out that the line was about 75 minutes long. We both realized that we had pretty much ridden every major ride, so why not just wait 75 minutes to ride the ride? So we did. After about 10 minutes of waiting in line, we were at the switchbacks, and we heard an announcement that said that the ride was down due to technical difficulties. My friend wanted to get out of the line, but I persuaded him to stay in the line. After about 45 minutes, the ride opened back up. However, about 15 minutes later, the ride went down again, this time because of lightning in the area. A lot of people were leaving the line, but we stayed. After about 45 minutes, the ride had opened back up again. It had been 2 freaking hours since we had gotten in line, and we still had a good hour to go. After another hour of waiting in line, we finally got to board the ride, and we had an awesome time. Was it worth the wait? Not even close, but it was still a very fun ride. By the time we finally got off, it was about 7 o'clock. Shortly after that, it was nighttime, so we got a few night rides, and then we stayed late to watch fireworks. It was a great way to end the worst day I had ever had at Busch Gardens. But hey, at least I got a night ride on Montu into the back row. That made the trip alone worth it. So yeah, to sum it all up, I did not have a very pleasant day for the most part, but it was still pretty fun riding roller coasters with my friends, and I had a pretty good time overall. So if you have to take anything from this story, it should be that you should never, ever, ever, ever visit Busch Gardens, Tampa. Okay, obviously I'm just kidding. The real thing you should probably take from this is that I'm stupid. Anyways, that is going to do it for today's video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Shout out to the Coaster Corner. You are awesome. And in the comments below, please let me know if you enjoyed my story. That is going to do it for now, and I will catch you guys all next time. Bye.